Hello and thanks for tuning to Gulf TV Africa. African countries over the years have been struggling with the attainment of their developmental goals. The backwardness in line with development notice on the continent raises eyebrow and the Benin desire to find a solution to this important issue. What are the difficulties met and how can they be overcome? In the next couple of minutes, a resource person will be looking at the difficulties African countries are facing on the path of development and how they can be overcome. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest was a former ambassador of Nigeria to several parts of the world, including Benin. He is currently a full-time pastor of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. He is in person of Ambassador Lawrence Obisakin. Good day, His Excellency, and thanks for accepting the request of Gulf TV Africa.
Thank you, Asamoah. Thank you, Gulf TV. You have been very good, a very good partner. I feel honored that you have come to interview me today, where we are here in Benin Republic. It's a great pleasure to have you again with us, and I say good day to you and all your crew members.
Thanks, His Excellency. So, as I said in my introduction, we shall be talking on the difficulties African countries are facing on the path of development and how these barriers can be overcome. So, to start, how were the people of the African continent doing developmentally before the Western countries invaded the continent?
Thank you very much. I'd like to start with an Igbo proverb by one of my famous compatriots of blessed memory now, Chinua Achebe. He says, we are like the man who does not know where the rain began to beat him, and so cannot say where he dried his body. Now, Africa has been a powerful continent. You remember Hannibal, who even conquered southern Europe.
Yes.
He crossed the Pyrenees with elephants. Africa, we've had a lot of civilization, great civilization, from Ghana, the ancient Ghana Empire, the Songhai Empire, Mali Empire, the Oyo Empire that even extended to Ghana from Nigeria, so many empires, and we're so much endowed. We may want to know, how did the problem of Africa start?
Yes, tell us.
The problem of Africa started from long ago. It started by disunity.
Okay.
And lack of love. No European country could come in and just pick African students and be selling them. No. We learned from history that the first European to come here were the Portuguese. Incidentally, I learned the Portuguese language, and so their culture a little bit deeper. The man that came was João Alfonso de Aveiro. He came about 1485 through West Africa. They were looking for the way to buy spices in India. And he saw the Oba of Benin, a big empire, and he paid respect because he discovered certain things they didn't even have in Europe. They did not have public toilets. And the Benin Empire of 1485 had public toilets.
Interesting.
Everything was arranged. And actually, we learned from history that the Oba of Benin City in Nigeria, which was a successor kingdom to the Oyo Empire, they treated the Portuguese as equals and sent his son as ambassador to Portugal. And the Portuguese sent them, ambassadors. There are many things in which Africa had been leading. We had the human resources, resilience, the ability to resist, malaria and all kind of diseases. You look at the latest COVID-19, people thought that they will be picking dead bodies all over Africa.
Exactly.
One way, by the grace of God, thank God, we can also say prayer did a lot. We survived it. So we have nothing against a solution, pharmaceutical solution, giving vaccine, it's okay. God created all wisdom, all knowledge is God's knowledge. That's what Saint Thomas Aquinas says, and also said first by the first African saint, Augustine of Hippo, which is a place located now in Algeria. He was a black African, like many of us. Our problem started from inside us and then was compounded by colonization, which started from early 19th century up to 1960, when most countries started, Ghana 57, Nigeria was to be independent in 1957, but northern Nigeria said they were not ready. That was why we couldn't beat Ghana
exactly
to independence, And then up to the latest, South Africa, who were already in the diplomatic service. During the time when Mandela was in jail for 27 years, and all African countries rallied round, and Nkrumah, late Nkrumah saw this. That was what led to his Pan-Africanist move, that we should all be one. This unity can only destroy, but in unity we stand. Our people say that if you have a broom, a set of broom, to break it is difficult. But if you disunite it, take it one by one, you easily destroy it. So number one problem for Africa was disunity. And that is still happening in many African countries today. We're not united. Why? Because of corruption. I see no reason why all the ethnic groups in Nigeria cannot unite for their own advancement. The ethnic groups in Ghana, in Benin, in Togo, in Burkina Faso, anywhere in South Africa, disunity is the main cause of it. Then you have the problems also of outsiders. Watner Rodney, he wrote a book, which became a classic. He said, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. So how did they do it? There's some scholars, Stephen O. Cheney, Basil C. Nwankwo, in 2012, they wrote Reasons for the Colonization of Africa and the Strategies used to achieve the colonial objectives. He said, colonization of Africa by European powers was necessitated by several factors. Notably, among the factors was the emergence of the Industrial Revolution, which brought about rapid change in the socio-economic transformation and technology of Europe. It started essentially from London in England, when they started manufacturing clothes using cotton and then using a lot of product to mass produce, items. And then they found out that they needed more agricultural products. And the way they were producing, they didn't have machine, they needed people. So they started enslaving Europeans. Europeans couldn't survive the rigor. They took Europeans as slaves to Latin America. They couldn't survive. So Africans were more resistant. That's why they were using Africa. But now, they were using Africa to produce fellow slaves. But finally, we got independence, at least in quote, political independence, 1960, Nigeria, 1960. Most African countries, 1960, apart from Ghana, 1957, except Ethiopia, Abyssinia, who was never colonized, but fought for its own independence because it fought Mussolini, during the First World War. And we can say the African defeated them. So now we have compound problems. Demography. We have a large percentage of our population are the youths. They are young. Many of them, look at Nigeria now, I think maybe you have about 150 universities now. We are producing graduates, they don't have jobs to do. And this leads, when they say the devil, I'm a pastor, there's a popular saying that says, the devil finds job for an idle hand. So many hands that are idle, they can easily be used for Boko Haram and all sorts of terrible things.
Okay, thank you very much. Having explained how the African continent was doing very well in line with the empires before the arrival of the Western countries. Suddenly, the African continent is not advancing. It's like things are all at a stop. So what exactly are the contributing factors to this stationary state of Africa in line with the development?
Well, what's responsible for the stationary state? The stagnancy of the African economy. Well, what is economy? The word economy is oikonomia. It's a Greek word which means the law that determines what you get in the house, the rules of the household, how you share money. How are we producing? I'm a very pragmatic sociologist, theologian. If we produce enough, I see what I call the theory of the family, which is the original theory of economics, is that if the head of the family is producing, and our people used to do it, they used to have many wives because they wanted many children to farm for them.
Yes.
And also because children were dying young, they didn't have enough remedies for malaria, many diseases that kill children. Now, if the father produces much, there will be much to eat and they could sell. So, which will attack the factors that are not making us to produce. And also, what are the factors that are making us uncompetitive? Other countries, China is producing massively. That's why there's no reason why Africa has the highest youth population ratio in the whole world. In my country, Nigeria, the youths are about 60%
of the population.
So some people say 75. And when you say people that are aged 64 to 0, they are about 78% of the population. So it's a big advantage. Because, of course, in America, you work until you are 70 before you retire, or beyond, even in France. Now, if we have this population, the best thing to do is to give them something to do. How can you give them? You have to industrialize. And Greek is the fastest, is the basic, when you look at the normal sectoral analysis of economy, the first one is primary raw material production before you go to processing, before you go to service, basically, service industry. Number one, are we producing enough food? Are we not still exporting Chinese, Taiwan, rice all over the places? This is not the way to go. We expect the Africans to go. Look, Nigeria has a population. Nigeria has got, for example, now enough rice to export. But it's still battling with neighboring country bringing rice. Taiwan rice. In Nigeria now, you can, rice that is produced this week, bagged. You can do, for example, Lagos State and Kebbi State, a state that has border. Nigeria has border with, Benin has border with 6 states in Nigeria.
Exactly.
778 kilometers. Kebbi is the last northernmost part where you have a place like Malonvi here. It's opposite Kebbi, I think. So Lagos and Kebbi State collaborate together. They are planting the rice in Lagos. They call it lake rice. Lagos Kebbi, Lake Kebbi rice. So they have a lot of it. And so almost all the states in Nigeria produce rice. So this is what they should do. Cocoa. Ghana is producing chocolate. Look at what Dangote is doing in fertilizers. Africa should collaborate. So it goes like even the old problems that we had, disunity. They must unite together. Now we have ECOWAS. There's no need why they should close their borders. They should monitor it and get the best thing. In those days, when I was ambassador to Nigeria, by the grace of God, I promoted 28. I met four industries. That's really one of the reasons why they gave me an award. The Benin Republic, and not from my country. I think they're still thinking. I had four industries having collaboration between themselves. By the time I left with 30. It's there. It's in the newspaper. 30 countries. Palm oil. Benin has one of the palm oils, pure palm oil. Nigeria has palm oil in plantations and everything. But these people are producing locally. So they take it to Nigeria, the liver products, which is manufactured in Nigeria. You can do it. Soap, just look at Songhai. Good cooperation is a big factor of developing Nigeria and Benin. Benin, Nigeria, Togo, they have a special relationship, and this is what they could use. They should cooperate more among themselves, begin to exchange, just like Europe. Europe came together in 1949 by the Coal Council until 1957 when they signed the Treaty of Rome. And look at Maastricht Treaty that usually united them. Of course, Great Britain is pulling out, but some want to come in. So united, you stand. Divided, you fall. So these are basic things. It's not rock science. It's not rocket science.
So aside this unity that is contributing highly to the current state of the African continent in line with development, what other things are keeping the African continent at this stage?
Many other things. In Yoruba, if a big problem floors you, then small one way. It's like when an elephant falls, maybe it was short. Then you have small ants who climb over the elephant. Even squirrel can come and do abolition on the elephant. That's what is happening now to Africa. Now that we cannot, let's be very practical, that we could not engage our youth. And these youths, they are very versatile. So people will use them for Boko Haram. People will give them some fuel to go and burn, arson, all sorts of things, cause, riot and all sorts of things. This is the way it goes. Other things happening is that our products have their prices fixed by Europeans. You produce cocoa in Ghana,
Yes.
in Nigeria, in
Ivory
Cote
Coast.
d'Ivoire, Cote d'Ivoire, and they go and fix the price in Brussels. How can you do that?
That's not normal.
So that's not normal. That's one of the reasons why Walter Rodney says how Europe underdeveloped Africa. So exploitation. That's it. Africa is still being exploited through trade and exploitation through investment. I'm quoting what that is what we call imperialism. Okay. It has to do with terms of trade. Yeah. They pay you little. It's like enslavement. It's like the system of enslavement. Somebody doesn't have money. It's still happening now, even among ourselves. A woman cannot feed her children. Say, okay, come and work, so that you can pay 50,000 sefa that I pay you, but I'll be paying you 10,000 in a month. But you'll be paying for your food. So at the end of the month, I will say, well, I pay you 10,000, but you are eating food of 20,000, so you are owing me 10,000. Instead of paying up the 50,000, you are now owing 60,000 every month. That's what's happening to Africa most of the time. So those are the major thing. And also the leadership problem. There is a leadership problem. There's what we call a disjuncture or fracture in African economies. We are not buying from each other. Instead, we are closing borders. You cannot say because some people may be terrorists, so you say, okay, this is my child. Because he cries too much at night, you throw him out and say, let a tiger eat it. No, we are bound to be here. We are condemned.
Now, still looking at the barriers to the attainment of developmental goals, has this way of lending money to the African countries at a special rate, in a way, is it affecting the development of the continent?
There are many theories. I've left active diplomatic service, but I'm now a pastor preaching for souls, praying for people in the Redeemed Christian Church of God. But we see what is going on. Because Jesus was a master tactician also. Otherwise, how would he have been able to recruit 12 persons that changed the world, even up to this moment? So, now, you see, you are talking of giving money, giving loan. Loan is not the best thing to borrow. That should be the ultimate. We have enough resources. We can use what we have without borrowing. Nigeria fought civil war, never borrowed a kobo. Chief Awolowo was the Minister of Finance. How did he do it? There are ways of doing it. There are internal things. But now, what you can do is you can borrow to invest. Look at the Nigerian man, doctor, who was a Minister of Agriculture for Nigeria, Dr. Akinwumi. Yeah. Now, look at what he's been doing. Even when he was Minister of Agric, you have to be versatile. We have to be innovative. He used a system that the Americans came to study, a system by which they were paying farmers for their fertilizer using their mobile phone. They cut off middlemen, causing trouble, inflating things. That's what we could do. We have to be innovative. Very important. I listened to American who told us clearly how Loam was doing the opposite. How did he explain it? He said, look, you say Africa needs help. You give them money, you give them food. That kills all their initiative. Money is coming. We all know it. We all know it. That most of you, we're African. If somebody is giving you money from America, you say, there's nothing, no need again to work. You just sit back.
Money comes.
That's yes. Money. It's counterproductive. How is it doing this? You give money to Africans, you give them loan. Now, number one, some of the interest loans are very high.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why you cannot go and loan money in most of Nigerian banks. Even here, it's even worse. Benin has a higher rate. I remember at the time I wanted to save money. So I said, let me put my money in Benin. They said, number one, returns, they said, what do you call it, withholding something was about 15%. That same day, I withdrew my money. I took it to Nigeria. So that's one of the things they have to. There's no way Benin can attract, investment without considering the attractions in other countries, neighboring countries. So the African leaders must come together and agree, and they do come together. ECOWAS brings them together, AU brings them together, and there are instruments for that. That should be special, but there's what we call local content.
Okay, His Excellency, you're currently a pastor of the Redeemed Church of God.
By the grace of God.
Is there any way that the current issue of the African countries in line with development can be linked to any spiritual reason?
Thank you very much. I want to thank God for my father-in-law, Pastor Adeboye, and our mommy, Pastor Ms. Fuller Adeboye, who posted me here. There was a day in the life of Job, Job chapter 1, verse 6, when they met there and they decided that this will happen to Job. Most of the things happening to Africans have to do with our past too. Historically, people have shed blood, and these have to be accounted for, either for forgiveness, propitiation, territorial powers. My first book is on this area, which is Dislodging Demons, published in Israel, 2002. There are territorial forces. You have to take the authorities over them. Some people have vowed that they will never see prosperity. Satan doesn't want people to prosper. John 10:10 says, the enemy, who is number one enemy, is not your mother-in-law, witches. He said, but the enemy, he comes not but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. See, the French one say, pour égorger, to slaughter, actually. So, Satan, and say, you have your father, the devil, and the will of your father you will do. John 8:44. So, satanic authorities are still there.
Okay, having looked at the barriers to attainment of developmental goals on the continent, now what are our leaders supposed to do away with these barriers?
One, the willpower, political will. The Bible itself says, if you are willing and obedient, you will eat the fruit of the land. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 18 and 19. Come, let us reason together. You have to reason together. They've been doing this in 1960. OAU, Organization of African Unity, was founded. In 1963, Nigeria became a republic. And all sorts of things. Then ECOWAS, for us, let's limit ourselves to West Africa.
Yes.
1975 Treaty of Lagos, by which we enjoyed, number one, free movement of goods and services. By which ECOWAS, I should be able to travel to an ECOWAS country and stay there for 90 days, free. But now, if you put your car here, some people came to me, hey, they said it's Nigerian car, you come and pay 1 million, 3 million. What is happening? They've been a custom. Why are you doing this? Thank God I was ambassador and I paid my custom. Am I to pay custom duty twice? The same thing, Nigeria. You cannot take your Benin. It's very bad. It's wrong. It's evil. It's against the treaty that they signed. You cannot say because you are running for a car, you go and run into a live pole. You want to take Benin car now, I want to take it to cross Nigeria. They say I have to come and pay million. I paid. I'm just moving to do Holy Ghost service and come back. So this is it's retaliation. We have outsiders that are fighting us. Let's know that. They don't want us to survive. Some people are not interested in the unity of Nigeria. Why should they be? Because they feel it's against their interest. They don't want unity of Africa because they feel it's against their interest. But must we pay? Must we play their own tune? Must we dance to their tune? Il ne faut pas jouer, say in French, le jeu des colons.
So how do we fight these individuals that are trying to keep the African continent underdeveloped? How do we fight them?
We must be united first. There's no way, no other way. If you are not one, okay, let's say we go to this united. How can we be united? Number one, we must be focused on the same goal. We must love our countries first. If I don't love my country, why should I expect other people to help me love my country? What's their interest? So, if I love my country, look at people like Kwame Nkrumah, who said, this is what we want, this is what I'm going to look at. In my own part of Nigeria, Awolowo was like an idol. He said, my people must have education. And he went ahead to do it. He sat down, he counted number of schools, 1955. He did his own work. And free education started in Western Nigeria. So, that's it. Okpara said, no, I want to do this palm oil industry, and he did it. He said, I'm a medical doctor, I want to improve. So unless you have leaders that are selfless, that look at the whole country as their territory. But if a leader feels that, look, I'm Yoruba, so I'm going to help only the Yoruba, I'm Fulani, I'm going to help
it won't
the
work
Yoruba,
out.
it will not work out. So go to the leaders. Leadership is cardinal. I have a theory, I call it the theory of the head in administration. If you are the head of an organization, look at my head. If you remove my face, you have no identity. So the organization must take your identity. Number two, you must be able to speak for your organization. You must be able to feel, to sniff what is happening, what can happen tomorrow, what this is one plan. Then, most importantly, 2 eyes, vision. So leadership here. And that's why they have done hand transplant now. They do heart transplant. They do leg transplant. There's no head transplant. Quoting Daniel Lukoya for the Mountain of Fire.
Well, precious viewers, on that note, this interview comes to an end. We had the former ambassador of Nigeria to Benin, His Excellency Lawrence Obisakin, speaking on the difficulties African continent face on the path of development and how to overcome this. And he really spoke to us on this particular issue, throwing light on how we can go about coming out of this particular issue. It's a pleasure having you on this interview, His Excellency. And viewers, thanks for your time, and do continue listening, watching Gulf TV Africa. I am Winfred Menu, Asamoah.